Pit stops have evolved massively over the years, from the days when it was relatively relaxed, the drivers could take a drink or even a cigarette in some cases, to today's blur, where the cars barely stop. The word pits in motor racing terms derives from the 1908 French Grand Prix at Dieppe, where service spaces were arranged in a deep trench dug in front of the grandstand and divided by wire netting into pens for each team. Riding mechanics were a formality during the early 1900s, and before the introduction of mirrors, they would warn their driver of danger behind, and sometimes more. Achille Varzi required his mechanic to place a lit cigarette in his mouth before getting on with refuelling.
Well, most of it went in anyway.
And in comes Moss for a quick top-up of fuel.
Fangio pits to take on fuel and change the rear wheels. A 52-second pit stop.
10 gallons, plus half a pint for himself, all in 28 seconds.
We know we can change wheels in 25-30 seconds.
Back in 1982, Brabham came up with the idea of lightweight race cars with mid-race refuelling and fresh warm tyres.
Now, for the first time, the much-expected Brabham pit stop. There is the fuel going in. Car is up on its own pneumatic jack. Nelson Piquet rejoining the race with fuel tank topped up and on new tyres.
Mid-race refuelling's been in and out of fashion over the years, often with some very scary results.
The car's on fire.
Oh, we got the fuel hose on Kovalainen's car.
Oh, there was fire in the pit lane as well.
And look at this, fire in the pit lane. We got a fire, we got a fire.
We're always hearing the engineers on the pit wall calling to the drivers, box, box, box. This word is derived from the German word Boxenstopp, which means pit stop. It's also a very clear word to hear when you're at speed out on track.
Box, box, box.
Speak up when you talk. Box, box, box. Box, box, box.
Box it up, box it up, box it up. Strap one, box, box, box.
Pit lane speed limits were introduced in 1994 after an accident in Imola.
Michele Alboretto's Minardi loses a rear wheel after a pit stop, and several mechanics are hurt by the flying wheel.
Here in Singapore, 60 kph or 37.5 miles per hour. Most other tracks, 80 k's, 50 miles an hour. Before that, I can hardly believe how or why, but we used to arrive and depart absolutely flat out.
Oops, big crash by Berger.
Despite speed limits, the pit lane is still a dangerous place.
Oh, that wasn't what he wanted.
Kamui Kobayashi.
Oh, that's not good.
Wow, look at that wheel. Well, that's brave, isn't it?
Oh, he's taking the hose with him.
Oh, look at that. There's a handbrake turn.
Oh, that's not good.
He wasn't looking, was he? There's a wheel gone, and the wheel rolling down, and he's hit the cameraman!
Pit stops have energised many a race and world championship, but they've also wrecked more than a few dreams.
Oh no, that's a big mistake, Massa's gone.
That's costing them a world championship.
Look at the time he's losing. This has lost the race for Ayrton Senna.
This is a disaster for Nigel Mansell.
This could change the world championship.
I absolutely love Formula One pit stops. They add a sense of drama, a change of pace, a wow factor, especially today's sub-3 second frenzy. I've tried for years to film a commentated full-crew F1 pit stop, and finally, earlier this year, Force India invited us to Silverstone and gave me that opportunity. Okay, getting ready to do the static pit stop, just for everybody to get the hang of it, obviously me included. But there's so much to do inside the cockpit. I'm going to leave it in first, press torque. I need the second clutch halfway, pull the revs, and then remember to let the left one go first. Man, I've got just over 2 seconds to do that. Revs, 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 go! I thought the driver just came in and waited, but I'm slightly nervous about this. A full-on live pit stop.
Box, 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 box.
Okay, the torque map is set. Ready for a start. Pit lane, pit lane. Pit lane limiter on now. Over the line. 22 guys waiting for me. I'm doing 50 miles an hour. There we go. Fantastic experience. something special, and it didn't last very long. You got to savour the moment. You got to really enjoy it while it's happening. So much for everybody to do to get it absolutely right. I mean, when they go over 3 seconds now, you go, oh, that's a slow pit stop. And it's at moments like this you realise just how much is going on. I think we're done. Sadly, that's it.